Hello guys and welcome back to some more survival games, and this time we are going to talk about PvP. Basically, because PvP is so incredibly big, I'm gonna do it in 4 or 5 episodes. And basically what I'm gonna talk about in these episodes, I'm gonna talk about swords, fishing rods, bows, the SG game itself, and maybe even the most important part, I am going to talk about the tactics, about tactical work, how you know what your opponent is doing, how you can use that in your advantage, because that is pretty much one of the most important parts in an SG match. I remember that when I play like really tactical, when I look at what my opponent is doing, I really get into it, and basically I can succeed by fighting them without even having to fight all that much. You can pretty much take them down just if you know what they are gonna do and if you just look at how they behave. And yeah, it's a bit weird to see how you do that in the PvP and stuff, but I will talk about that later on, because this time I am mainly going to talk about the other most important part, and that's gonna be the swords, because pretty much everyone uses them. I haven't seen many people who kill people with a bow. I have seen them though, they use flint and steel and they use a bow. It works really well, I fail in that and I have died in that as well. But yeah, I am going to talk about swords because that's the most important part. So yeah, basically, a sword. What can you do with that? Well, you can slice someone in pieces. How do you use it? Well, without a fishing rod, without a bow or anything. It's basically just about clicking fast. It's about knowing what your opponent is doing as well. It's about clicking fast and running away. So basically, clicking fast, everyone can actually do that. You just have to click a lot and you have to click fast. And then you just basically, that's all you do. You click fast. And that's the basic point of clicking fast. Second, you need to aim correctly. How do you aim? How do you teach that? How do you learn it? It's just practice. You practice playing, you play a lot. You look, your opponent is moving and you aim for that. That's all you have to do in that game. But for the rest, your opponent is moving, you hit him. Where does your opponent go? That's the way you want to hit with your sword next, because if you hit your opponent, he's gonna get knocked back. When you hit your opponent like really hard, when you run at someone, basically you run at someone, you hit them. Your opponent flies away, but most people attempt to turn around actually because they are running straight into them, because your opponent is at that moment when you hit is pretty much inside you, so they turn around, even though you know that the knockback you give to your opponent makes them fly away, so you can pretty much just run forward, and when you run forward you can pretty much take them down right there. And that's pretty much all you have to do then. That's where you have to pay attention to. Where is your opponent going? Where does he fly to? And yeah, that's just basically, but first let's kill this guy, by the way. I will continue later on. But yeah, that's basically what you have to do in the sword. With the sword, but something else with the sword, I'll just, full butter, that's nice. So yeah, basically that's what you have to do with the sword. As I said, you just need to aim. That's point 1, you have to click fast. That's point 2. For the running away, you need to know when you run away, because pretty much, yeah, if you run away at the right moment, of course the NCP makes it sometimes a bit impossible to get away. I've had that a lot. I've died a lot when I try to just get away just in time, that you get lagged back, you die. That's just bad luck. I just call it like that. It's just bad luck. But yeah, basically you need to fight. You need to get the first hit. That's important. If you don't get the first hit, but you do get the second hit, like straight after, like you both run into each other, he hits you first, you hit after, not a big deal. But if you get the first hit, your opponent flies away. If you can get that second, pretty much the connection hit, the second connection hit, that's amazing, because then you got 2 hits and your opponent only got 1. And basically you can pretty much do that. But of course you have those other people who got good connection, and they might get that as well. So when you get double hit, you mostly fly quite far, and the best thing, what I suppose, is to do, you turn around, you run away, because you're in a disadvantage, because you have way less hearts. So that's what I would do. You just run away, you regen, you go back. It's all about defensive play, know when you have to run, and it's definitely not about offensive. As soon as you go attack someone straight away, you want to kill them as fast as possible. The chances are big that you're gonna die even faster and that he's actually gonna win. Because if you play smart, you run at the right moment, you regen, get all the I don't know the word anymore. Get the terrain in your advantage. That's what I meant. You just get the terrain in your advantage. Use that against the opponent. Like climb a mountain, jump off, hit them with a great knockback so they fall. That's, for example, a way you can do it. So yeah, you have to run away just at the right point. Like you fight someone, you're in a disadvantage, you make sure you run and fight them later on, because mostly they will try to chase you. And that's just only swords. Of course, you still get bows with it, you get rods with it. I'm not going to talk about how to use your rod for now and how to use your bow for now. I will talk about, for example, you have a rod and you will hit your opponent with that rod. And how to use your sword with that, and same with the bow. Well, basically, you get a rod, you hit your opponent back and you go for them. They go flying backwards, that means their range decreases, your range increases because you sprint forward, and you make sure to hit your opponent right there. That's important. And you always want it. You want to make sure your range is bigger than your opponent. That's what you have to do. So you hit them with a fishing rod, you go for them. What you can do, of course, that's more of a fishing rod tactic, but I would just give it away for now. You basically, if you run, you got hits off you, double hit off you, and you only got one hit. You run, you turn around, fishing rod your opponent, quickly turn around, of course, hit your opponent, and then you keep going again. They get knocked back, you might even get a double hit then. And if you just keep doing that, some people will not fall for it, but most people will fall for it. Because, yeah, the average player will fall for it, basically. That's pretty much it. The average player will fall for it, and that's the important part, that you can use it as many options as possible. And that's just with the fishing rod. Of course, you can also use the fishing rod when you're both running straight at each other. Of course, you can use it to just knock your opponent away, but that doesn't really work. And I'm going a bit too much about the fishing rod now, so I will leave that alone. For the rest, if you use a bow with a sword, it works really great to use the bow as a fishing rod, because not many people have discovered that, in my opinion. When I use it, the most amount of people will fall for it. I've tried it a few times and they do, as far as I'm concerned. So basically what you do, you use it as a fishing rod, you run away, you turn around, you quickly shoot, not a very hard pullback, but just enough pullback so your opponent gets hurt a bit. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even matter that he gets hurt. It's about that they get a knockback, and you will be able to just instant go for them right at that point. You just go for them as from the moment you hit them, and you just get the advantage again with your sword, and you make sure to get a few hits. Also with a sword, it's important, because I'm going a bit too much about the bows. With a sword, it's pretty much important. Don't run straight at your opponent, because he will have all the chances what he has to do. Because if you run straight at him, it's just not a matter of how do you say that? Yeah, it's just not a matter of surprise, and you want that surprise attack. So what you could do, you could go from side to side. Oh, we got a lag back over here. Well, let's just keep going. Oh, and cobweb, what great. So yeah, basically it's you have to get I forgot the word. Well, never mind. Let's keep going. Yeah, you need to get you attack them, and what works for me, I jump from side to side and just keep moving from side to side until I'm close to them. That's what I do when I don't have a fishing rod. Of course, it's not very effective. It makes it that they have to pay attention if they want to fight you. If they just run straight at you and you move from side to side, all you have to do is keep your aim at the middle, and they have to move their aim continuously, and it will be way harder for them actually. So that's what you have to do. You have to keep moving. Don't make sure it's a secret for your opponent where he is actually going, where you are actually going. So really keep that in mind. That's important. And yeah, for the rest, it works also really well if you run, you turn around and just hit with a sword if your opponent is quite close behind you. Even though most people will know you're gonna turn on them. Ooh, and craft enchantment table. Well, let's enchant the sword because I do have a level. Yeah, so basically most people will know that you're gonna turn around. The only thing is they do not know when you're gonna turn around. So basically you can turn around any moment, and they don't know it yet. So you will always have the surprise on them, even though they know what they're doing. I've seen it, like, I'm running behind someone, I know they're gonna turn around, they're gonna hit me. And I just know they're actually gonna hit me very well, and I'm paying attention to that, and while I'm doing that, I still manage to get hit. It's pretty much, that's always happening. And no matter how good your player is, it will always be a surprise. So the turn also works really well. It's also really important, but also for a sword, it's important to keep moving. Don't just stand there and hit your opponent. Make sure to keep moving. For example, circle around your opponent. So let's see how we can take down this guy. He's not even paying attention, so that's really easy. But he's going in the water, so I'm not even gonna bother about it. And that rhymes. And lag back. So yeah, basically keep moving. One of the most old tricks that I know is just simple circle around your opponent. When you hit him, just make sure to keep circling around him so he has no clue where you're gonna go. And basically, if you get in his back, that's pretty much what you want to accomplish with that. You get in his back and he can't find you anymore. You can just hit him to death. That's really easy. And let's see, time left, it's only 19 minutes, so that's just fine. But yeah, basically that's what you want. That's really what you want to accomplish with that. And yeah, keep moving. If you're in a small arena, make sure to keep moving from side to side as fast as you can. It works really well sometimes, but yeah, it's pretty much if you have nothing to lose, what does it matter? You just make sure you keep moving. Also, block hitting. I never do it. I mostly do not do it just because I do not like it. Because it's, in my opinion, a bit weak, but of course it's a really great tactic if you're like just in a close area. If you're really close, you're locked in, you might as well block it because you have nothing to lose. Because you're gonna die otherwise, and block hitting will pretty much, well, it will decrease your range a bit because you're not sprinting forward. But at least it will give you that protection. If you don't have good armor, it can pretty much get every hit that they do on you half. So basically they get a sword hit on you, it just does half the damage. And well, basically that's all you want to have. But yeah, back to the game, because I think I've pretty much gone through everything of the swords, what I can tell. I will just go back to the game. Next time it will be randomly through the weeks, because I'm not gonna all do it at the same time. The tactics, so it might be just next week or in a few days. I do not know when the next one will be out, but I expect it to be the bows, because I really enjoy bow fighting. So it will be the next one, hopefully. Otherwise it will be the fishing rods. But yeah, basically let's get in the fight over here, and we just pretty much killed this guy. The other guy is pretty friendly to me, so yeah, we'll just run away for now, and we'll just get a nice regen on, and let's see what he's gonna do, because he could attack us because now we're low, but it doesn't seem like it. So let's just pretty much empty out our inventory. Let's do it like that, and let's just wait until we're regen, and then we can go for him. Oh, it seems like he dropped something on the ground. That's very nice. It's like pretty much giving us full iron armor, because we only needed that, and now we're full. So we have 2 arrows, and well, now we're gonna fight him. So let's see. I'm full now. Well, pretty much 9 hearts. Doesn't really make a difference, because before we even fall, those hearts are regenerated. So let's see. Let's get the first shot on him, and let's see. There we go. And let's get a second. There we go. Now he's already on like 6 hearts or so, or 7 hearts. And well, let's see. Let's get the first. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna win this. He's trying to block it. It's not really working for him. Let's try to cobweb him, because let's make it an interesting fight. So he's not getting in cobweb. Well, let's see. He's still not getting in. It's going pretty good for us. Ooh, I can't hit him. So let's run. Let's see if we can place some TNT on this. And let's go. Okay, that doesn't work. You cannot place TNT on that. Can you place it on the fence? I guess so, but I can't hit it. So, ooh, NCP. Okay, so there we go. We got a few hits, and GG. Well, that's over quite fast. Okay, well, guys, I hope you all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.